Welcome to the Oribooks, where words come alive and stories take root in your heart. Here, we explore life's most profound lessons through the power of audiobooks. Each story is crafted to inspire, challenge, and guide you on your personal journey. Whether you're seeking motivation, introspection, or simply a moment of peace, you've come to the right place. Join us in uncovering the wisdom of authentic living and discovering your own strength in life's unpredictable twists. Let the journey begin. Introduction. Life is an unpredictable journey, full of winding paths and unforeseen challenges that can often leave us questioning our ability to continue. There are days when it feels as though the weight of the world is too much to bear, when every step forward seems met with resistance, and every solution seems fleeting. During these times, it's easy to get caught in the trap of thinking that the answer lies in fighting harder, pushing further, and forcing outcomes. Yet true peace and strength do not stem from constant struggle. In fact, they arise when we learn to step back, let go of the need for control, and accept life's ebb and flow with grace. The truth is, not everything is meant to be controlled. Life has its own rhythm, its own pace, and its own lessons to impart. Our greatest challenge, then, isn't to fight against the current, but to learn how to navigate it with authenticity and strength. True courage lies in facing life's uncertainty with a calm heart and an open mind. By releasing our attachment to how things should be, we open ourselves to what actually is, allowing us to live more fully in the present and experience peace amid the chaos. This book is an invitation to discover the power of graceful strength, the kind that comes not from force, but from acceptance. It's about learning to face life's unpredictable nature with a sense of peace, allowing challenges to become opportunities for growth rather than sources of stress. Through this journey, you'll learn to cultivate the kind of strength that is rooted in authenticity, not in fear or resistance. And as you step into the fullness of who you are, you'll find that life becomes less about surviving and more about thriving in all of its beautiful, messy unpredictability. Let us begin this journey together, embracing the truth that you are stronger than you think, and the power to live a life of grace is already within you. Chapter 1. Embracing life's unpredictability. We live in a world that often tricks us into believing that we can control everything, our circumstances, our outcomes, and even the people around us. We plan, we prepare, and we strategize, all in the pursuit of certainty. But the truth is, life's true nature is unpredictable. No amount of planning can safeguard us from unexpected twists, and no amount of effort can shield us from the inevitable changes that come our way. This realization can feel unsettling at first, even terrifying. If we can't control the outcomes of our lives, then what do we have? The answer, though, lies in the one thing we can control: our responses. The only constant we truly have is the way we choose to react to what happens to us. Instead of grasping at control, we must learn to let go of the illusion that everything must unfold according to our expectations. The moment we release the need to control the uncontrollable is the moment we create space for peace. By accepting what we cannot control, we stop fighting against the current of life. We learn to live in harmony with it, responding with resilience rather than resistance. This shift in perspective frees us from the suffocating grip of anxiety and allows us to experience life as it comes, without the weight of unrealistic expectations. When we let go, we not only find peace in the chaos, but we also uncover a deeper sense of strength, one that isn't reliant on perfection or predictability, but on our ability to move through life with an open heart. While we cannot predict every challenge that will come our way, we can prepare ourselves to face them with a calm and centered heart. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in front of a great storm. The wind howls, the sky darkens, and the rain falls in torrents. The storm is beyond your control, but your response to it can make all the difference. Instead of bracing yourself for impact with fear or resistance, you have the choice to ground yourself and remain steady in the midst of it. The key to this steadiness is preparation. Not preparation in the traditional sense of organizing every detail, but the preparation of your mind and heart to embrace life's uncertainty with resilience and grace. Begin each day with an intention to remain centered, knowing that challenges will come, but that you have the capacity to meet them with clarity and poise. This preparation is not about building walls to shield yourself from the storms of life. It is about strengthening your inner foundation so that you can remain grounded no matter how fierce the winds may blow. Each morning, ask yourself, how will I face today's challenges? Rather than viewing them as burdens, see them as opportunities to practice grace, patience, and adaptability. The more you prepare yourself to face the unknown with an open heart, the more you'll discover that challenges are not obstacles, but invitations for personal growth. Life, in all of its unpredictability, is calling you to rise above the surface of your fears and step into the fullness of your potential. We live in a time when chaos seems to be a constant companion. Whether it's the noise of the world around us, the demands of daily life, or the inner turmoil that often swells within us. It's easy to become overwhelmed, to feel as if we are drowning in the noise and confusion of our circumstances. Yet, peace is not a distant place we arrive at once everything falls into place. It is found in the very act of embracing the chaos, of finding stillness amid the noise. To find peace in chaos, we must first redefine what peace really is. It's not the absence of conflict or struggle. It's the ability to remain unshaken by the world's unpredictable nature. Peace is the practice of anchoring ourselves in the present moment, despite the storm raging around us. It's about stepping outside of our habitual reactions, whether they are fear, anger, or frustration, and choosing to be present with what is, rather than what we wish it were. When chaos arises, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I control in this moment? Often the answer is not much, but the one thing you can always control is your response. By accepting life's unpredictability and learning to find calm in the midst of the storm, you begin to see challenges not as disruptions, but as opportunities to deepen your practice of peace. You realize that even in the most chaotic moments, you have the power to remain grounded, present, and centered. The beauty of this is that chaos, in its own paradoxical way, becomes a catalyst for personal transformation. In the midst of life's unpredictability, you discover a deeper layer of yourself, a version of you that is not defined by external circumstances, but by an unwavering sense of inner peace. Life will always throw challenges your way, but it is in your ability to find peace in the chaos that you will uncover your true strength. Chapter 2. Redefining your relationship with fear. Fear, at its core, is an illusion, a mental construct woven from the fabric of possibilities, uncertainties, and past experiences. It is the mind's way of warning us of potential danger, but often it exaggerates threats that may never come to pass. We fear not just physical harm, but the rejection of our ideas, the failure of our dreams, and the unknown future that seems to loom like a dark shadow. Yet, when we examine fear closely, we begin to see it for what it truly is, a series of imagined scenarios, often disconnected from reality. Consider for a moment how many of your fears are rooted in what-ifs rather than actual facts. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I make a mistake? The reality is that these fears are often based on the fear of judgment or rejection, rather than the inevitable consequences of living. Our minds create these stories to protect us from discomfort, but in doing so, they rob us of the very experiences that lead to growth. Understanding fear as an illusion doesn't mean disregarding it altogether. Fear serves an important role in alerting us to danger, but it should not dictate our actions in every aspect of life. Once we recognize that fear is often a product of our own minds, we begin to loosen its grip on us. Instead of allowing fear to control our decisions, we can observe it, acknowledge it, and then move forward regardless of its presence. Fear is not a force that should dictate how we live our lives. It is simply a signpost, one that invites us to move toward the very things we are meant to embrace. Courage is not the absence of fear. Rather, it is the ability to move forward in spite of it. We often associate courage with grand, heroic acts, like facing a life-threatening situation or making a dramatic decision. But courage can be found in the smallest of moments, when we choose to act even though fear is whispering in our ears. Courage is the decision to step into the unknown, to try something new, or to stand up for ourselves when the world tells us to stay silent. Fear tells us that we are not enough, that we might fail, that we may be rejected. But courage calls us to move past these limitations and step into the fullness of who we are. When we face fear head-on, we diminish its power over us. We start to see that the more we move toward our fears, the less intimidating they become. Every time we make a choice in spite of fear, we grow stronger, more resilient, and more confident in our ability to navigate life's challenges. In the process, we redefine our relationship with fear. It no longer becomes something to avoid, but rather something to understand and work with. Fear becomes a companion, not an enemy, one that signals growth and transformation. The act of facing fear is itself an act of courage, and as we face it, we discover that courage is not something we are born with. It is a muscle we develop over time. We often live as though we have all the time in the world, pushing our dreams, desires, and challenges into the distant future. But life's brevity is one of its most profound truths. Each moment, each breath is fleeting. When we truly grasp the finite nature of life, it has the power to shift our perspective entirely. The awareness of time's limited nature urges us to let go of the fears that hold us back and to step forward into the life we are meant to live. When we face our mortality, not in a morbid or fearful way, but with acceptance, we begin to see life through a lens of urgency, not as something to be rushed, but as something to be fully lived. Fear often thrives when we live in a state of procrastination, putting off our goals, dreams, and desires because we are afraid of failure, rejection, or making mistakes. But when we embrace the reality that time is finite, fear loses its grip. The stakes are no longer about being perfect or avoiding failure. They are about living authentically and fully, knowing that every moment is a gift. This awareness does not pressure us into rushing through life or making impulsive decisions. Instead, it invites us to live more intentionally, to pursue the things that truly matter, to invest in relationships that nourish us, and to align our actions with our deepest values. The knowledge of life's impermanence becomes a powerful motivator, urging us to overcome our fears and to live with purpose. One of the greatest shifts we can make in our lives is to embrace fear as a natural part of our journey, not something to be avoided or suppressed. Fear is a signal, an invitation to grow. It is an inevitable part of stepping into the unknown, of trying something new, of pursuing dreams that stretch us beyond our comfort zones. When we view fear not as an obstacle, but as a catalyst for personal transformation, we unlock the power to move through it with grace and authenticity. Think of fear as a teacher. It arises whenever we are on the verge of change, whenever we are about to expand beyond our current limitations. The more we learn to lean into fear, the more we grow. It is only when we are willing to face the things that scare us that we begin to unlock the full potential of our lives. By welcoming fear rather than resisting it, we free ourselves from its grip and reclaim our power. Fear is not the enemy. It is the messenger that beckons us toward greater things. As we grow more comfortable with fear, we realize that it doesn't control us. We control how we respond to it. With each courageous step, we redefine fear, turning it from a force that paralyzes us into one that empowers us. Chapter 3. Finding Strength in Struggles. Many of us live with the illusion that life should be free of problems, that peace means a life without obstacles. We plan, we strive, and we do our best to create a life where everything falls into place. And yet, problems inevitably arise. The key, then, is not to expect a life devoid of challenges, but to change our relationship with those challenges. The reality is that problems are an inherent part of life. They are not signs of failure or evidence that something is wrong. They are simply part of the human experience. As much as we wish to avoid them, we cannot escape their presence. The sooner we come to terms with this truth, the sooner we can stop resisting life's difficulties and start embracing them as opportunities for growth. Resisting problems only drains our energy. We expend so much of ourselves trying to push them away, to force them into non-existence, but they remain, often growing in size and complexity. But when we shift our perspective, accepting that problems are natural and inevitable, we free ourselves from the need to constantly fight against them. Instead, we can focus on how we respond, how we navigate, and how we learn. Accepting that problems are part of life does not mean passively accepting defeat. It means understanding that life is a journey, not a straight path, and that each twist, turn, and detour brings us closer to who we are meant to become. Problems are the catalysts for growth, transformation, and resilience. By seeing them as inevitable companions rather than unwelcome intruders, we open ourselves to their lessons and their potential to shape us into stronger, more capable individuals. The moments when life feels most difficult are often the moments that contain the seeds of our greatest growth. Struggles, while painful in the moment, are often the very experiences that teach us the most about who we are and what we are capable of. But it takes a shift in perspective to see them as opportunities rather than obstacles. When we face challenges, we have two choices. We can see them as burdens to bear, or we can view them as stepping stones toward becoming a stronger, more resilient version of ourselves. Every struggle contains within it the potential for transformation, but only if we are willing to engage with it fully. Think about the process of forging metal. The metal is placed in the fire, beaten with a hammer, and shaped under great pressure. It is through this heat and force that it becomes stronger, more refined. Similarly, our struggles, when we allow ourselves to move through them consciously, can refine us. The heat of adversity molds us, sharpens our resilience, and forges a new strength within us that would not have been possible without the pressure. This transformation does not happen automatically. It requires awareness and an active willingness to learn from the experience, to reflect on the lessons it offers, and to adapt accordingly. Struggles are not just things to be endured. They are opportunities to redefine our limits, to develop new strengths, and to awaken our inner power. When we approach struggles with this mindset, we stop seeing them as roadblocks to happiness and start seeing them as gateways to a deeper understanding of ourselves. It's in these moments of difficulty that we often discover what we are truly made of. We realize that we have the strength to endure, to adapt, and to grow beyond what we once thought possible. Resilience is not a trait that we are born with, but a mindset that we cultivate through our experiences. It is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to stand tall in the face of adversity, and to keep moving forward despite the challenges life throws our way. But resilience doesn't come naturally. It is something we build through conscious effort and practice. To build a mindset of resilience, we must first acknowledge that setbacks are not failures, but learning opportunities. Each time we face difficulty, we have the chance to learn something new about ourselves and the world around us. Resilient people are not those who avoid challenges, but those who meet them with a sense of curiosity, courage, and determination. They understand that life is full of ups and downs, and that the key to success is not avoiding the lows, but learning how to navigate them with grace. Building resilience requires self-compassion too. We often become our own harshest critics in times of struggle, believing that we should be able to handle everything on our own, or that we should never falter. But true resilience is born out of kindness toward ourselves, the willingness to accept our imperfections, and the understanding that setbacks are a natural part of growth. By treating ourselves with the same compassion we would offer a dear friend in need, we create a solid foundation upon which our resilience can grow. Another key element in building resilience is the ability to reframe our circumstances. When faced with a struggle, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" By shifting our focus from victimhood to learning, we open ourselves to the possibilities that lie within the difficulty. Every challenge holds the potential for insight, and by actively seeking those insights, we develop a deeper sense of inner strength. Finally, resilience is nurtured through the act of taking small, consistent steps forward. Resilient individuals don't necessarily move through life with an unshakable confidence, but they do keep going, even when they feel uncertain or afraid. They understand that progress is not always linear and that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. What matters is the willingness to continue, to take one more step, even when the path seems unclear. Resilience is not a quality that we simply acquire. It is one that we build through practice. With every challenge, every setback, and every failure, we are given an opportunity to grow stronger. And just like any muscle, the more we exercise resilience, the stronger it becomes. As we face life's inevitable struggles, we have the choice to see them as obstacles or as gifts. Gifts that strengthen us, teach us, and ultimately bring us closer to our true selves. The struggles we endure are not there to break us, but to shape us into the resilient, wise, and capable individuals we are meant to become. The beauty of life's challenges is that they are never truly in vain. Each one, if we approach it with openness and curiosity, is a stepping stone to becoming the fullest expression of who we are. Chapter 4. Staying true to yourself in relationships. From an early age, many of us are taught to seek validation from others. Whether it's from our parents, teachers, peers, or society at large, we are conditioned to look outside ourselves for reassurance of our worth. The desire for approval is natural, but when it becomes the primary driver of our decisions, it can lead us down a path of self-betrayal. The truth is, the more we seek approval from others, the more we lose sight of our authentic selves. This need for approval often leads to compromise and conformity, where we shape our words, actions, and beliefs to fit what others expect from us. We become like chameleons, changing our colors to blend into every situation, only to find that we've lost our true essence in the process. The more we try to please others, the further we stray from our authentic selves. The key to staying true to ourselves in relationships is learning to break free from the approval trap. This doesn't mean disregarding the opinions of others, but it does mean learning to prioritize our own values, desires, and sense of self-worth above external validation. When we stop seeking approval, we give ourselves permission to be unapologetically ourselves. We begin to live for ourselves, not for others' expectations, and in doing so, we cultivate deeper, more genuine connections with those who appreciate us for who we truly are. In this process, it's important to recognize that the need for approval often stems from a fear of rejection or judgment. However, when we step into our authenticity, we acknowledge that rejection is not a reflection of our worth, but merely a part of life. By shedding the need for constant approval, we free ourselves from the pressure to please and open ourselves to the possibility of being loved and accepted for our true selves. Authenticity is the bedrock of meaningful relationships. It is the act of showing up fully as yourself, without pretense, fear, or shame. Yet many of us have learned to hide parts of ourselves, whether it's our quirks, our flaws, or our dreams, out of fear that we won't be accepted if we reveal the real us. But when we hold back, we deprive ourselves and others of the richness of true connection. To embrace our authenticity, we must first learn to embrace all parts of ourselves, the light and the shadow, the strengths and the vulnerabilities. It means accepting who we are in our entirety, without trying to fit into societal molds or meet others' expectations of perfection. The act of embracing our authenticity is not always easy, especially in a world that often prizes conformity. But it is the only path that leads to genuine happiness and fulfillment. When we embrace authenticity, we invite others to do the same. We set the tone for how we want to be treated, and we create space for others to express themselves freely. Authenticity fosters trust and respect in relationships, because it allows others to see us for who we truly are, not the version we think they want us to be. It builds a foundation where love and connection can flourish, because authenticity is the soil in which true intimacy grows. In relationships, whether with friends, family, or romantic partners, embracing authenticity creates a deeper level of connection. When we are truthful about who we are, we give others permission to do the same. This mutual vulnerability nurtures trust, understanding, and emotional safety, qualities that are essential for any relationship to thrive. True connections are not built on shared interests or superficial pleasantries. They are built on vulnerability, honesty, and mutual respect. In order to build these authentic relationships, we must first be willing to show up as our true selves and be open to others doing the same. This means allowing ourselves to be seen, not just in our moments of success, but also in our moments of struggle, doubt, and imperfection. Genuine connections are founded on the understanding that we are all human, that we all have strengths and weaknesses, and that we all have a deep desire to be seen and understood. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite others to do the same. And this mutual vulnerability creates a bond that goes beyond surface-level interactions. True connection occurs when we can be fully ourselves without fear of judgment, and when we can offer that same acceptance to others. One of the most powerful aspects of building genuine connections is the ability to listen. To truly hear and understand the experiences, thoughts, and feelings of others. Listening with empathy and openness is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship, because it shows the other person that they are valued for who they are, not just for what they can offer or what they appear to be. It fosters a sense of belonging, which is fundamental to human connection. In addition to vulnerability and empathy, building genuine connections requires healthy boundaries. We must learn to protect our emotional well-being while still offering ourselves to others. Boundaries help us define where we end and where others begin, ensuring that our relationships are not one-sided or toxic. By respecting both our own needs and the needs of others, we create relationships that are balanced, respectful, and nurturing. When we are authentic, we allow our true essence to shine through, and this authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to authenticity because it offers something rare in today's world: realness. In a culture that often prizes image over substance, authenticity stands out as a beacon of truth. It invites others to be honest with themselves and with us, and it creates the space for deep, meaningful connections. Authenticity also empowers us to walk away from relationships that no longer serve us. When we are true to ourselves, we are less likely to tolerate relationships that are based on false pretenses or superficiality. We begin to attract the people who align with our values, our goals, and our spirit. These are the relationships that nourish us, that challenge us to grow, and that support us in becoming the best versions of ourselves. When we embrace our authenticity, we give others permission to do the same, and in doing so, we create a ripple effect. Authenticity is contagious. It has the power to transform not just our relationships, but our communities and the world around us. When we live authentically, we invite others to do the same, creating a culture of honesty, acceptance, and mutual respect. Living authentically requires courage. It takes bravery to be fully seen, especially when doing so might lead to rejection or judgment. But the truth is, when we allow ourselves to be our authentic selves, we invite a deeper, more fulfilling connection with others. We also invite greater peace within ourselves, because we no longer have to hide behind masks or pretend to be something we are not. The courage to be yourself comes from a deep understanding that you are enough just as you are. You do not need to prove yourself or earn love and acceptance. You already possess those qualities within you. Authenticity is the key to freedom. To the freedom to live your life fully, to pursue your passions, and to build relationships that are rooted in truth and mutual respect. Conclusion: the grace of living authentically. Life is unpredictable, a journey full of twists and turns, of challenges and rewards, of moments of doubt and moments of clarity. And yet, within the chaos and uncertainty, there exists an incredible truth. You have the strength to navigate it all with grace. The real secret to living a peaceful, fulfilling life does not lie in avoiding adversity or crafting a perfect existence, but in learning how to embrace it, face it with courage, and stay true to yourself along the way. The challenges you encounter are not just obstacles. They are opportunities to evolve, to refine your character, and to deepen your understanding of yourself. The fears you face are not walls to stop you, but stepping stones to personal growth, teaching you resilience and awakening a strength you never knew you had. The struggles are not indications of failure. They are part of the process, the very ingredients of the life you are meant to create. And throughout this journey, your authenticity is your compass. It is easy to get lost in the noise of external expectations, the pressures of fitting in, or the temptation to mold yourself into someone you are not. But in doing so, you lose the very essence of who you are and, in turn, the opportunity to live a life that is uniquely yours. When you stay true to yourself, when you embrace your imperfections, your dreams, and your individuality, you invite the richness of connection, inner peace, and joy into your life. In the end, it is not perfection that matters. It is progress, the continuous unfolding of your journey, the gradual shedding of old beliefs, the letting go of fears, and the quiet courage to keep moving forward. Every step, no matter how small, is a step closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. Each moment spent living authentically, each challenge faced with grace, each fear overcome with courage, builds the foundation of a life filled with meaning. Remember, life will always present you with unpredictability, but by accepting what you cannot control, by transforming struggles into opportunities, and by living authentically in your relationships, you create a space for peace and growth amidst the turmoil. Life's beauty is not found in avoiding hardship, but in learning how to move through it, how to embrace the uncertainty, and how to rise to meet it with an open heart. Let go of the need to be perfect. Let go of the pressure to live up to someone else's standards. Let go of the fear of failure and rejection. Instead, choose to embrace the beautiful messiness of life and allow yourself to be fully and unapologetically you. The world needs your authenticity. The world needs your light, your courage, and your wisdom. As you move forward, remember that you are enough just as you are. You are worthy of love, of peace, and of all the greatness life has to offer. In embracing yourself, you will find the strength to face anything that comes your way. You are the architect of your journey. And by living with authenticity, grace, and courage, you can transform life's challenges into the very stepping stones that guide you toward a more fulfilled and purposeful existence. May this book serve as a reminder that no matter the obstacles, no matter the fears, no matter the moments of doubt, you have everything you need within you to rise above and live the life you were meant to live. With grace, strength, and authenticity, you can face it all.